What if everything you've been told about electric cars is wrong? Not outdated, not exaggerated, completely dead wrong. Picture this: a world humming on the brink of its next industrial revolution. Engines fading, silence rising, and in that silence, a battle of myths louder than any roaring V8. Every day, new claims erupt like sparks from a short circuit. They explode without warning. They'll collapse the grid. They die after a few years. Terrifying headlines, viral comments. But here's the twist: most of them crumble the moment they touch real data. So why do these myths still grip millions by the throat? Who benefits from the fear? And what does the world look like when the truth finally breaks through the noise? Today, we're peeling back the curtain, cutting through the panic, exposing the 5 biggest electric car myths of 2025. Myths powerful enough to shape public opinion and fragile enough to collapse under a single fact. If you're ready to step into the future while everyone else clings to the past, hit like, subscribe, and join us here at Dravexa. The real story starts now. Now, let's tackle the biggest monster in the room. Myth number 1, the disposable battery. You've heard the whisper. It's just a giant iPhone on wheels. They tell you you'll be shelling out the price of a new car every 5 years because the battery will brick itself just like your old smartphone. It's a terrifying thought. It's phone logic applied to a 2-ton machine. But here is what they aren't telling you. Your phone doesn't have a thermal management system. Your EV does. Data from late 2024 and early 2025 has completely shattered the disposable argument. A pivotal study from Stanford University just changed the game. For years, engineers thought they knew how batteries aged based on brutal, constant-load lab tests. But the real world is different. It's forgiving. Stanford found that real driving, stopping, starting, regenerative braking, actually stresses the battery less than those lab cycles. The result? Modern batteries are lasting up to 40% longer than anyone predicted. We aren't talking about a few years. We are talking 300,000, even 500,000 kilometers of functional life. And the degradation? It's not a straight line to zero. Think of it like breaking in a pair of shoes. You might lose 2 to 5% capacity in the first year as the chemistry settles. But then it stabilizes. It sterilizes. The drop slows to a crawl, less than 1% a year. Companies like BYD and Tesla are now engineering packs designed for 1,000,000 miles. 1,000,000. Statistically speaking, the battery in your driveway right now is likely to outlive the seats you sit in, the suspension you ride on, and the chassis that holds it all together. The fear of a $15,000 bill is a ghost story from a decade ago. The reality? Your battery is built to go the distance. But if the battery isn't the problem, surely the fire risk is. Or is that just another smokescreen? Let's find out. You scroll through your feed, you see the headline, "Another electric car on fire." The comment section is screaming, "These things are ticking bombs. They'll burn your house down." It feels like you're sitting on a lit fuse. But here is the reality check the news won't give you. Myth number 2, the fire hazard panic. Let's look at the machine you've trusted for decades, the internal combustion engine. The name gives it away. It works by literally exploding flammable liquid thousands of times a minute, right next to a tank holding 15 gallons of that same liquid. When a gas car catches fire, it's a traffic update. When an EV catches fire, it's international news. That is not a crisis. That is confirmation bias. The raw data from 2025 paints a very different picture. According to global safety agencies, a gas car has roughly 1 in 1,000 chance of catching fire. An EV? 1 in 80,000. Do the math. A gas vehicle is 20 to 60 times more likely to burst into flames than an electric one. Now, is there a catch? Yes. It's called thermal runaway. If an EV battery does ignite, it creates its own oxygen. It burns hot, and it burns stubborn. But engineers are ahead of this. Modern packs are compartmentalized. Think of it like a ship with bulkheads. If one cell fails, the walls go up. It doesn't spread. The spontaneous combustion stories you hear? They're mostly ghosts from a specific defect years ago. Today, software spots a short circuit weeks before a spark ever flies. So, the car is safe. But what about the power lines feeding it? This brings us to myth number 3, the grid collapse. The fear is simple. If we all plug in at 6 p.m., the lights go out, the grid crashes, civilization goes dark. It sounds logical, but it's wrong. If you are enjoying this deep dive into the truth, make sure you're subscribed to Dravexa. We don't just scratch the surface, we dig until we hit the facts. Now imagine the mid-20th century. Suddenly, everyone bought an air conditioner. Millions of massive, power-hungry boxes humming on the hottest days of the year. Did the grid collapse? No, it adapted. And EVs are actually easier to manage than AC. When it's hot, you need AC now. That is a spike. But you don't need to charge your car at 6 p.m. You just need it full by tomorrow morning. That is the secret. It's called dispatchable load. Most charging happens at home. Smart chargers in 2025 are programmed to wait. They sleep until midnight. Then, between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., when the world is quiet and electricity is practically being thrown away, they feast. They don't break the grid, they balance it. But it gets better. With vehicle-to-grid technology, your car isn't just a drain, it's a donor. Imagine 100,000 school buses sitting idle in the summer. Plugged in, they become a massive distributed power plant. They push energy back into the grid during a heat wave. Your car doesn't cause the blackout. It's the backup generator that saves you from it. So the grid is safe. The car is safe. But surely these things are terrible for the wallet. That brings us to the money. You check your bank account, you look at the dealership, and you think, this isn't for me. This is a rich man's toy. For a long time, you were right. The first wave was exclusive, a velvet rope for the wealthy. But holding on to that view in 2025, it's costing you money. Myth number 4, the rich man's toy. We have reached the tipping point. It's called sticker price parity. The lithium has plummeted and manufacturing has streamlined, but the price tag is just the cover of the book. The real story, that's in the ownership. Think about the machine you're driving now. Under the hood, there is a complex chaos of 2,000 moving parts, pistons firing, valves opening, gears grinding, oil sludge, spark plugs, belts that snap, exhausts that rust. Now look at an EV drivetrain. 20 parts. That's it. No oil changes, no timing belts, no transmission fluid. The maintenance isn't just cheaper, it's practically non-existent. Even if you pay a little more up front, the math says you break even in 18 months. Over the life of the car, you're keeping $10,000 in your pocket, not the mechanic's. And with the used market now flooded with reliable long-range options, the elitist label is officially dead. But there is one final argument, the one that sounds the smartest, the one the skeptics love to use to claim the moral high ground. Myth number 5, the long type pipe. They tell you the battery is dirty. They say mining the minerals creates so much carbon that you might as well drive a Hummer. They call it a greenwashing scam. Here is the truth. Building a battery does create a carbon debt. That part is true. But what they don't tell you is how fast you pay it off. It's called the payback period. According to the latest 2025 data, you pay off that carbon debt within 6 to 18 months of driving. After that, you are in the green. Even if you charge your car on a grid powered 100% by coal, you still win. Why? Because an electric motor is 90% efficient. A gas engine? A pathetic 20%. And here's the kicker. A gas car is a tragic machine. The day you buy it is the cleanest it will ever be. As the engine wears, it gets dirtier. An EV is the opposite. As the power grid shifts to wind and solar, your car actually gets cleaner as it ages. And when the car dies, the story doesn't end. Gasoline is burned and gone forever, smoke in the wind. But the lithium, the nickel, the cobalt, they are elemental. They don't disappear. We are recovering 95% of these metals to build new batteries. We are moving from a straight line of waste to a perfect circle of reuse. The myths are crumbling. The data is clear. The future isn't something to fear, it's something to drive. When the steam engine arrived, they clung to their sails. When the first car rolled down the street, they clung to their horses. We fear what disrupts us. We fear the change. But the data from 2025 has spoken. It is unambiguous. The batteries are outliving the chassis. The fire risk is a statistical ghost. The grid isn't breaking, it's evolving. The cost is falling through the floor. And the carbon debt, it's paid in full. Whether you're studying the code that runs these machines or just looking for your next ride, the myths of yesterday are gone. They are no longer variables in the equation. The question is no longer if this technology is viable. The question is how quickly we can let go of the past to grab the future. The internal combustion engine had a magnificent run, 100 years of noise and fire, but the torch has been passed. That silence you hear when you step on the accelerator, that is not the sound of compromise. That is the sound of better engineering. The myths are fading. The road is clear. If you want to keep your eyes on the horizon, make sure you've hit that like button and subscribe to Dravexa. We don't just cover the revolution, we drive it. I'll see you in the next one.